It's great to be here. Just got back from the BMO conference in Florida, which was, really interesting in terms of seeing a little bit of optimism towards stocks in the mining sector, particularly ones that have really solid assets. And, this photograph really resonates with anybody who's a miner. I'm a geotechnical engineer. But if you look at that photograph and that topography and you're thinking about mine building, what do you not see? Well, you don't see any mountains. You don't see any glaciers. You don't see any rivers or lakes or big water bodies that are right on top of the deposit. You're looking at the 7 million ounces we have. What do I see as a mine builder? I see a brand new power line that only is energized to have its capacity. I see all-season roads that are maintained. Building roads into pristine areas is one of the most difficult things to permit in today's first world countries. So those are tremendous assets. And I kind of look at that and I go, wow, we know what the capital cost to build Victoria Gold was. And I'm looking at 50, 70, $80 million better infrastructure than they have. Even 4 bars on the cell phone there, not very many properties actually come with that much infrastructure on them. So I'm going to be making lots of forward-looking statements because I'm a big optimist and a big shareholder in Banyan, and I'm really excited about where we are and where we've come. You can see us on that map. We have Hecla right beside us. They purchased the high-grade silver mine, Alexco's mine, right beside us. Victoria Gold is just 25 kilometers as the crow flies away from us. Heap leach mine, they just met their guidance this last quarter, so it's great to see them finally hitting their stride. And we have 173 square kilometers right beside them, but this Tombstone district with these intrusive related deposits is getting a lot of attention. There's been some major discoveries, Snowline out to the east, Sitka off to the west, Victoria Gold's Raven. We can stand at our camp and watch the drills, and over there's some high grade. It's only 4 kilometers away, grade of 1.7 grams, and they already have 1.1 million ounces, and I believe that deposit is going to grow both in size and grade just from the geology that we're seeing. Here's our Ormac property. We just put out our resource here a couple weeks ago, 7 million ounces. We connected the 2 deposits, one that was formerly Oryx Hill. It's now all power line and airstrip. Powerline's been our focus since 2019 when we made the discovery. So this is a new discovery. And there you can see the deposit airstrip there dips underneath Powerline. Airstrip's a calcareous replacement deposit, dips at about 60 degrees. And we know that it dips underneath these sheeted veins of the Powerline deposit. That was our 2023 resource in green. Now the 7 million ounces added to that with just under 25,000 meters. This is a 0.6 cutoff. And now you're seeing a 0.9 cutoff. And so the green there, the 0.6 cutoff, that was 4 million ounces of 1 gram. And the pink was 2.5 million ounces of 1.5. So people say, well, 0.63, that's low grade. But when you focus on it and look at the geological model, yeah, the strip ratio goes up when you have, you get the 4 million ounces of 1 gram, but it's still very reasonable. This is an on-surface deposit where we can see high grade. And it's been very rapid that we've advanced this, made the discovery in 2019, put our head down and just drilled through COVID, because that's about all you could do, and came out with 6.2 million ounces by 2023, and now sitting at 7 million ounces. So I think, we're well positioned for this market. There's a lot of people that are doom and gloom out there, but I'm pretty excited about where we've come and the future for Banyan. 7 million ounces is significant for any mining company out there. It means we have the potential to be standalone, tier 1 status in a fabulous, safe jurisdiction, which is becoming more and more important these days with infrastructure and permittable. 1 self-governing First Nation, which works with 2 mining companies. Our team knows how to deliver value. We know how to stretch dollars. We put together this resource for $7.43 an ounce, or our drill record. Even when we were drilling some holes to look for places for infrastructure, we still drilled 58 meters, 58 ounces per meter that we've drilled. That's a pretty great record. People think of the Yukon and they think it's seasonal. But we're year-round, just like the 2 mines beside us operate year-round. That's important for us to be able to turn on the gas when the market dictates and lets us really advance this very, very quickly. And we're ready because we've been doing the background work, which I'll talk to you a little bit about. And we got a strong treasury going into 2024, which shows that we've really managed capital well and care about our shareholders. This district, if you drew a circle around us today of 25 kilometers, we have 18 million ounces in gold equivalent resources. So yes, this belt's exciting, but what's really exciting and what district plays, when you have 20 million ounces within 20 kilometers with a heap leach mine and a mill, hydropower and roads already in it, that's pretty attractive. So, eventually we're going to see some M&A, and it's going to come to this district, just like it has to the Golden Triangle and Red Lake. And I think it'll be really exciting. And when it happens, it'll happen fast. We've been putting together a team. We're careful not to get ahead of ourselves. We have added Kai Woloshin as our VP Project Development, brings a real wealth of experience. He permitted the mine next door. He's been involved as the lead consultant for just about every mining project in the Yukon that's currently in exploration, and ones like Hecla that are in development. So he's helping us with our metallurgy, our studies, really important as we start to turn our mind towards that. We still have James, who's got an excellent track record for finding gold, and we benefit from having, mining engineer Mark Blythe, Jason Neal with some capital markets, and Brad, who's built 2 mines in the Yukon. So happy to talk to you about that later. We started this year with $7 million. We actually have revenue because we have rental of our infrastructure, so we made $700,000. Last year, we're on track to at least make that this year, but even up to 1.5, depending on how much of our infrastructure we want to rent out and what happens this year. But that gives us a pretty substantial portion of our G&A that's covered, and really lets us focus our dollars on on our property and how we advance Ormac. Recall, I'm a 4% shareholder, which I've bought in the market as a third CEO. Never sold a share in my whole time as being on the board of Banyan, not even an option. Victoria Gold at 11%. Cisco Development at 4%, Franklin and Fidelity. For our market cap company to have Fidelity and Franklin in the register really shows the quality of the asset. And they both did a substantial amount of due diligence before making their investment. And, another 31% of institutional investors. And it's why our share price has been pretty solid. We have some long-holding shareholders that really believe in the value we're creating. Our last financing was actually back in December 2022, was $12 million with no warrants. We have no warrants outstanding, as you see. And I do encourage people to look at the recent coverage and the upcoming coverage by both Richard Gray and Don Blythe of Paradigm. Both of them have started to model and do some preliminary economics, which I think is important as you look at our project. ESG side, we heard a little bit about that from John Baird, but this is really important, your social license to permit a project, and it's something that our team does very, very well. My first agreement with this First Nation was back in 2004. So I've been known in the community and worked in the Yukon for just about all of my career, and certainly it's something that sets Banyan up well. And I won't belabor it, but come and talk to us about this because it is something that I'm pretty passionate about. The resource is open in all directions, particularly east and west airstrip. We haven't even drilled on it in 2019, and higher grade 0.75, certainly some targets there. And we know that the bottom of the pit is only 200 meters. There's room to grow now that the pit is 5 kilometers in strike length. Certainly there's room to take the pit down just because your lower strip ratio is right in the middle of a big flat bottom pit. And there you can see an east-west cross section. And the circled area in that, the purple and the red are the highest grade. And what this is really showing you is higher grade near surface areas, which are part of what we believe will be the phase 1 mining areas. And that's what, people say, oh, low grade. But I can say, well, look at these sections. Can you not see that there's potential areas where we have starter pits of higher grade? And that will really drive our IRR. And we're very focused right now. Yes, we put out this resource, which gives us a geological pit, but we're also doing some high-level scoping studies to really help us target what we do next. Where is not only the high grade, but the high grade that you would mine first that's going to drive the economics of this project, and how do we really increase that? The sensitivity table, all the way up to 1 gram. You can do the math yourself on the visualization that we had. These intrusion-related deposits, we are in the metasediments above or below our intrusion. We haven't found it yet. So yes, there is blue sky potential for us on this property. And meanwhile, we are advancing with things like our metallurgy to show that this is economic. We put this out a couple weeks ago. Very conventional methods, We have 3 of them, which are potential for this project or combinations of them with very decent recoveries. I had lots of positive feedback when I was at the BMO conference. Some of the corporates, 91% from CIP, CIL. We know we can get some extra percentages on that with the work that we're doing. This is first phase. Gravity flotation, gravity at 53% and less than 4% mass pull. That means a pretty low cost plant, actually likely potentially lower than CIP, CIL in terms of capital cost. And heap leach in the range of what Victoria Gold had in their first pass. And our next phases of work are really to understand the distribution and how those different recoveries occur. Victoria Gold's life of mine recovery is 75%. If we can get a portion of the deposit that has that and combine it with a mill scenario, there's certainly some different economic scenarios which might be very preferable. Lots of work going to go on that. Permitting, we have a huge advantage in that we've done the baseline. We have millions of dollars of data and years of work actually spanning back to 2008. And there's ongoing work being done by the 2 mines beside us, including all of the weather data, moose surveys. Huge advantage. If we were to decide the project that we wanted to build, we would be able to go into permitting within about 3 months after having a study, a PEA. So that is, and be in construction in 4 to 5 years. And that's a realistic timeline. It's because we have roads and power already on the property and all the baseline data that we need. 5th largest project in North America is starting to get attention. I had a few people that did say, how did you get so big so fast? Most of our peers, we're trading at about $8 per ounce. If you look at our peers and ones that are in production, most of them are trading $30 to $50 per ounce. And certainly the takeouts have been much higher than that. We also have blue sky potential on our Nitro property where there's known gold-bearing intrusives right near surface on the adjoining property boundary. Lots of area out there with alluvial mining. Our Highland project, actually, have had interest in that recently. We have another 500,000 ounces down there at 0.85 that recovers well in column leach tests. So I think we might see some activity there as well. Been a short story. I won't belabor it, but we've worked really hard for our shareholders to make sure that we've positioned this company well with what we believe is a development asset, permittable in a great jurisdiction. We're working hard to get attention and we're really focused on adding value with the money we have in the bank. Look for us to announce our program in the coming weeks, but focusing really on how do we make this an economic project and make it a very desirable one. And this jurisdiction is pretty exciting. So thank you guys for coming and please come talk to me if you have questions.